claimed greatest tag team of all time would be pretty disrespectful if you don't do something that not even Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, ever accomplished. What is that accomplishment? Unify the tag team titles. Don't just be the longest reigning SmackDown tag team champions of all time. Be the only tag team ever to be SmackDown tag team champions and Raw tag team champions at the very same time. And to do so, the Usos have to defeat Randy Orton and Riddle, RK Bro. Let's give credit where credit's due. This is the best tag team in SmackDown against the best tag team on Raw, perhaps the best tag team in the history of Monday Night Raw. But the Usos have to earn their spot. They have to be relevant. They can't be yesterday's news. And it's not enough just to be the cousins of the tribal chief. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Usos will come home, the undisputed tag team champions, or they won't come home to the island of relevancy at all.
That was Roman saving his cousin, saving Jey Uso. Splash! Cover! To unify the goal! The Usos have done it! The Usos have done it! The Usos are the unified champions!
And new undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, the Usos!
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer. You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following Sit Down Marks podcast is set for one fall. Introducing first, your heel host that is always helping to spread the good word of wrestling, Dirty Bird. Next up, the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme, editor and producer, Primo. And finally, your co-host, straight out of your mama's kitchen, driver of the Grip Wagon, straight off a cliff, assistant editor and producer, AJ.
What's up, peeps? Episode number 65 of the Best Kept Secret in Wrestling podcast. Thank you, T.W. Ward, that voice of Memphis wrestling, man. We appreciate him bringing us in each and every week. Well, Primo, just me and you today, brother. AJ is not with us. Look at this man.
Boo!
Look at this man. Yeah.
Boo! Let's do it. Boo!
So AJ's not with us. He's actually at the shoot job. So no, truth be told, I kicked both the Harris brothers off the show, so we don't have to deal with them anymore. But no, just kidding. Yeah, AJ's at the shoot job, so me and Primo are going to be bringing this thing through. So
did you say Primo?
I did say Primo.
You did say Primo. Oh, you meant to say Primo.
The revolution is televised.
Number one contender, baby!
Yes, that is true. Last week you won the coveted number one contendership to my Kurt Angle trophy. So me and you're going to be picking for the old trophy at Hell in a Cell. It's going to be like a Wild West, man, like the old days, man. We're going to come out gunslinging, man. It's going to be fun. I can't wait.
Slanging.
Nice job there. I didn't know you were going to do that. So good work, man. I'm always down for some Ricky music for sure.
I love that song.
Yeah, it is. It's so dope. So, yeah, just me and Primo today. So we want to thank our sponsors, Jet Designs over on Facebook. That's right, JET Designs over on Facebook. If you have a custom car idea that you have, die cast, for your friend, your mama, your boyfriend, maybe for yourself, for your collection, well, Jet Designs is the guy to do that. So go look him up on Facebook. Tell him that Dirty Bird and Primo sent him to you. And he'll be glad to bring your diecast to life, man. There's nothing that this guy can't do. I'm watching him sending out these things all the time, man, and they are awesome. If you're a NASCAR fan or, he does trucks, anything like that, any kind of diecast, he can make it work. So go check him out over there. And also to Coastland Apparel, who's been a long-time sponsor of the pod. Go to Coastland Apparel and use promo code Bird TV for 15% off of your order. They got a bunch of new designs dropping for the summer. So we thank Coastland Apparel for being on. So once again, you guys, thanks everybody for being here and everyone listening on all those podcast platforms out there. You know which ones they are. I don't have to say them anymore, but we are going to say that on Fridays, you got to be checking us out on SportzWire Online Radio on Fridays right before
Number one. That's right.
Had to do it, man. It's been a little while. So Thomas Bryce Show, the number one global short sports show on the planet, man. He is he knows his stuff, man. Go check him out over there on SportzWire Online Radio Fridays at 6:15. Go check it out. And if you like the pod, we ask that you go tell a friend, man. And we really appreciate all the love we've been getting right before we started the pod, man. We were getting some love on Twitter from some fans, and it's really been awesome, man. We really do appreciate everybody listening, and we're going to keep on delivering, man. Ain't nothing going to change. So it's going to be awesome coming forward here. So appreciate all those support out there. So, yeah, go leave us that 5-star review if you can on one of those platforms. So what do you think, Primo? What do you think I sounded really southern right there. I said, Primo.
What do you think? What do you think, Primo?
What do you think there, Primo? By God. What do you think there? We say that or where that old jukebox you got there, that thing just
jukety box
shoots out them little jingles. You know what I mean?
Them jingles.
Shoots out them jingles.
Put a nickel in the box.
Don't let me do. I know my accent's bad from being from the South, but just buzz me off when I do something awful like that, like mispronounce a word real bad. So, all right, man, let's see what's in the jukebox today.
Jukety box.
Oh, yeah, Big Daddy Cool, the Diesel. Well, that's...
I always like when he put the glove on all slow.
Sure.
Yeah, and then just the fist pump.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just go in the air, man. I was a big Diesel fan, man, for sure. I was kind of like around when I still kind of a little bit into the character gimmicks, and I think he was supposed to be a truck driver, right? Kind of, I believe. Sort of, yeah. So,
yeah, man. His name's Diesel. Had the starting up the diesel engine there at the beginning.
Right. Yeah. So, I'm down for a good truck driver gimmick. I mean, they make the world go round, man. You know what I mean? So, not like, you know what I mean? So I was down for the old Nash as the Diesel. So, all right. So AJ's not here. So Primo, did anything happen this day in wrestling history? Anything that jumps out at you? Anything in particular?
Well, this day in wrestling history, that's May 25th for all you marks out there. Well, on this day, Dirty, let me tell you, in 1988,
I'm ready.
None other than Undead Michael, formerly known as Joey Baggadonuts, defeated his brother AJ, who is also formerly known as the Lady Crippler, in their match, in their co-owned Trampoline Wrestling Federation in a Punjabi backyard trampoline prison match, which still stands to this day as the only Punjabi backyard trampoline prison match to ever happen in history. That was Joey Baggadonuts over the Lady Crippler.
Well, looky there. No wonder he didn't show up today. He's celebrating.
That's right.
They're probably kicking back with a couple cold ones, celebrating their matches.
Their historic match.
Historic match, right. Oh, Michael still got the title. AJ's still kind of mad about it, and they're talking about it. Oh, man, that's awesome. So,
Joey Baggadonuts.
Who knew? Yeah, old Joey Baggadonuts. All right. All right, Primo, anything in the headlines?
Yeah, man, I got a couple headlines here. So, on May 24th, Kurt Angle underwent double knee replacement surgery. How crazy is that? I mean, I knew it's not that far-fetched because it's Kurt Angle and, his knees are shot, but it's like double knee replacement surgery at, same time. That's got to suck. That rehab's going to be terrible.
Yeah, double. You laid up for quite a while, with rehabbing too. So, but some of them choose to do it if they need it because it's like, let's just knock them out and get them done.
Right. Go ahead and get them out of the way.
He won a gold medal with a broken
freaking neck.
Right,
that's right.
Broken freaking neck. Right. So I'm pretty sure that he'll be walking probably within.
I think he actually said that too. He said that. He did that with a broken freaking neck, so he'll persevere,
Sure. Yeah.
And, obviously our best wishes from the Sit Down Marks podcast here. I'd go out to Kurt Angle.
Yeah, absolutely. There's, there's two guys that are, are royalty around here. One being the Junkyard Dog, from grab them cakes. And,
for sure.
And Kurt being the other, you know what I mean? So, he is the trophy that I currently hold. He's on my screen right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, he always gets to hang out with whoever the current champion is. So, so best wishes to Kurt, man. Hope you get back here very, very soon.
Right. On PW Insider, WWE is now seeking a new director of brand and marketing, in part to fill some of the responsibilities that Stephanie McMahon has left behind as part of her leave of absence.
Yeah, I'm putting in my 2-week notice, Primo. I'm going to be
the new director of brand and marketing.
Yeah, they called me, man. I'm big fashion mogul I am, so marketing and
all that major corporation marketing experience.
Yeah, I mean, all you gotta do is just put in marketing. You just put the WWE logo on it. Put it on.
Sure, even the championships. Just put the big ass WWE logo on it.
Yeah. So she's leaving and Triple H is back. Is that what we did here? Did he just come back too?
Yeah, I think he's behind the scenes type deal.
Sure. Yep.
Off executive, strictly executive. Speedball Mike Bailey. Two things for him, actually. Number one, he married Veda. Not Vader.
Veda.
Just recently, actually.
Veda
Scott, yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
Veda Scott.
So he married Veda Scott, but also he is challenging AC Mack for the IWTV World Championship on Monday, June the 6th.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Be a pretty good match, even though I'm not a speedball guy.
And then lastly, Tony Khan has said that pay-per-view revenue is up. I mean, who would have thought? Pay-per-view revenue is up ever since CM Punk signed with AEW. He has created a lot of new business opportunities for the company. I mean, that was obvious to me.
I mean, yeah. You think that's in rebuttal to what Bischoff had said about him being?
I feel like, feel like he was like, "Watch this."
It's funny timing too.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're about to put the belt on him too, right? You know what I mean? So he's about to, they might have to pay him more.
I think, I mean, they're already paying him a shitload probably.
Yeah, so. He's making a ton.
Making bank.
But
yeah, that is my headlines for May 25th.
Sweet. All right. You can DM us on Twitter if you'd like a shout out, fan. Let us know when and where you listen to the podcast, and we will let you guys know. I want to give a shout out. Excuse me. My bad. Mike Cook, a.k.a. Mike Thunder. He's always putting us over on Twitter. He just put one out, man, and we really do appreciate it. Go follow him at MWO, as in man, Mike, MWO, Mike Thunder, on Twitter, man. He's always checking out the pod and giving his thoughts and talking about what we're talking about too. So appreciate it, brother. Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, he's a fellow podcaster also, and you can catch Mike World Order on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays.
Very cool. So you can go check him out after us. Awesome. There you go. Wednesday night's all taken up now. If you prefer to watch podcasts, versus not. So, all right, here we go. So, like I said, AJ is not here, so it must be time for AJ's segment here. So let's just see what we got this week.
AJ's clip of the week. Let's hear it.
AJ's clip of the week. AJ, where are you? Well, okay then. This week it's Primo's clip of the week.
Woo! Oh, that was good.
Man, I love doing those.
Well done.
All right, so my clip of this week is actually an episode from 2002 from the show The Weakest Link.
Okay.
They had celebrity editions. This specific celebrity edition was WWF 2002. In this episode, we had Terry Runnels, Kane, Edge, Stone Cold, Bubba Ray, Devon, Jared the King Lawler, and Deborah.
Nice.
It's hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious overall because you have Ann Robinson, who's the host.
Right.
She's this English lady, woman, who's the host, and she's just stone-faced and serious while she has this band of misfits in front of her. Right. And the funniest part for me, too, is that Kane is there in full mask and gimmick. And he's probably the smartest person in the room.
Yes, it's probably likely. That would happen a lot, though. Yeah.
In this specific episode, Edge was the first one to be voted the weakest link, and the winner was Kane after defeating Bubba Ray in sudden death. Here's a short clip of Stone Cold popping the other wrestlers as well as being funny, while Ann Robinson absolutely no-sells it.
Stone Cold. Why should we know you?
What? I'm the leader of this illustrious group. That's why you should know me.
Who says you're the leader?
I do.
Why Devon?
I knew down the road these guys were going to team up against me, and I need to split them up right now. I did it because I like him. Not very much, but I like him.
You didn't consider voting for Deborah?
Because I'm not stupid. I might not get too many answers right today, but if I vote against my wife, it'd be the dumbest thing I ever did.
Yeah, so back in 2002, obviously Stone Cold was married to Deborah. This whole episode's hilarious because it's just stuff like that. Obviously Austin with the what? He pops the boys. They all laughed. And even Stone Cold's like, pow! Got him! And Ann Robinson is just like straight-faced. Yeah. Like, I don't know how she doesn't do it. She doesn't break character.
I would bet she's never watched wrestling. I would bet.
Oh, yeah. At one point, she asked Terry Runnels, like, why she doesn't have muscles. And Terry Runnels she said, do you wrestle? She says, sometimes. She said, well, what else do you do? She said, I run around with not very much clothing on. And then she said that, she asked her if her breasts were fake. And Terry Reynolds said, as fake as my hair.
Oh, wow. Yeah, how the times have changed. That's funny, though. Yeah, I remember that Weakest Link when she was the host. Yep. Good stuff there. Thank you, Primo. Well done there, filling in for AJ on that segment. Okay.
Thank you.
Time to talk about what we're going to talk about. Primo and I are going to give you our quick thoughts on the week of wrestling, including previewing the AEW Double or Nothing card coming up this weekend. And in the Dropkick Discussion, we will review Sasha versus Becky versus Charlotte, the triple threat thruple match, as we call them around here.
Thruple.
from WrestleMania 32. I was in the house, so I'm going to talk about this one. And we've got a very babyface promo school for you guys here today from Sting in 1992, right after he won the WCW title. And that one's going to be a good one. We're going to impersonate AJ a lot and do it very badly on purpose. So, all right, Primo, man, if you're ready, man, let's kick it off, brother. Let's roll.
This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big B.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening
to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, first of all, for this indie roundup, how about me and Primo today? If you're looking on YouTube right now, we're supporting the guys from Zawa, man. He's got the Coyotes on. He's got the brand new camo, the TDC, those damn Coyotes. He's representing those guys today. I got the old Shane show, Mr. Shane Balima, man. I got his shirt on today. So repping Shane show, the best manager in Zawa Live Wrestling, bar none, putting him over. And Primo's over here with the Coyotes. He represents Burma.
I gotta say, this is my new favorite shirt. I love this shirt. Not only is it awesome, but personally, it fits amazing.
Yeah. And it's a very high quality shirt too. I got one
it's a very nice shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but no, overall, I love it. Thanks, Coyotes. And obviously, I'm gonna support you guys over here in the VA.
Yep.
And wearing it everywhere.
Yep. Shout out to Christian Rose, Connor Hopkins, Brooks Berna, Damian Deschain, those damn Coyotes. Book these guys on your card, man. They're the biggest thing in the Midwest in faction wise. So it's so check them out. All right, so let's do the indie roundup for the week. And I want to talk about this weekend. I'm headed down to Cape Girardeau, Missouri for the big Cape Championship Wrestling CCW show they got going on down there. CCW. Yeah, I want to do.
Right.
I got to at least get on one of those.
Get that one going once. Yeah.
Right. It just feels right, don't it? Like, yeah, so close. We're off just by one letter.
Right.
But yeah, I'm hyped, man. I mean, this card was already loaded. They got a lot of good tag team matches. They got a brand new champion there. I'm ready to check out all these guys. Chris Slammer is going to be there, and they just announced Sam Beal from Impact Wrestling is going to be there. So that's an awesome addition. So
very cool.
So it's going to be a big one there, man. Let me know where to eat at in Cape Girardeau, man. It's a little bit of drive for me, so I'm gonna hang out, man. So shoot me those restaurant recommendations in Cape Girardeau, and I'm not talking about no fast food now. I'm talking about like them hole in the wall type joints,
some mom and pops.
Yeah, and places like off the beaten path. Like, yeah, that's what I like, man. That's where the good food is. Man.
Cash only.
Yeah, right. So, yeah. All right, that's what I'm looking for. So, so this Saturday, man, looking forward to heading on down there and excited. Thank you once again to CCW for having us. I'm excited. I'm excited to tell you guys about it, man. So it's going to be a fun weekend, man. I'm ready to head down there Saturday and kind of get my Memorial Day weekend started, man. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go to a little AEW here. We got to talk about Dynamite and Rampage here. So Johnny Elite, Primo, there was the big surprise for Samoa Joe.
Yeah. So I actually, I'm a big fan of John Morrison. I always have been.
Sure.
And I thought it was pretty neat, the ovation that he got. I was honestly, I was kind of surprised that the AEW audience gave him such a great ovation.
Yeah, he did get a little bit of, it wasn't like, they definitely weren't disappointed. There for a second, I kind of looked at him funny because, like, what he had like a semi, like
it's like a mohawk,
man. Yeah, like it was, like a man bun.
He didn't have giant drip on the side.
No, he didn't. No
drip stick.
Right, no drip stick. But he did still come out and do his, where he like pushes,
yeah, and he got the slow mo.
He got the slow mo. Yeah, that was So it's still Johnny Morrison, Elite.
Johnny Morrison, Mundo, Impact, Elite. Jip.
Yeah, drip. Yep, good enough. And then, what I'm excited for, I gotta put the pin down. What I'm excited for is the Bucks and the Hardys here are spicing up a feud.
Oh yeah.
The Matt called the Bucks a Hardy Boys ripoff.
Look at him.
right. Anybody from that era tag team was spawned by those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret that they were inspired by the Hardys.
Sure.
And Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah. So fast forward though, they've already set a match up for Double or Nothing. So that I'm pumped.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, man, that's great. Right, like give me that all day, man. That's awesome. Moving on. Funny thing I just want to say real quick, not much about it, but when Ricky Starks came out, Swerve said he looks like he's dressed like a bar of soap. With a chain on. He said, you look like dressed like a bar of soap with a chain on. He goes, you're disrespecting the game. Like, that popped me, man. I died laughing at that because Rick, I think JR, somebody said Ricky looks like he's a male model, in a magazine cover, something like that. So, yeah, funny stuff.
That's all right.
Recognize, right. All right, so let's talk about the holy shit part of this show.
Yeah, man.
All right, so Wardlow taking those licks with the the straps. With the belt.
I like how he no sold was it 8 out of the 10, and gotta say he's a man. He's bigger man than me because I might have been crying by number 2.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, those were. You seen the welts on his back, and they said they don't airbrush those on fans.
JR.
Yeah, but but that one that Spears did that kind of wrapped over the top of his trap, like over his shoulder, that kind of wrapped around. Oh man, that one just broke me in half.
That was the first one he reacted to, and I was like, oh, it made it even worse.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh man,
think about it.
But I do like, not the fact that he was so much that he was able to eat those shots without reacting. But I mean, good on him. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I like the angle, like the psychology of it, that it pissed MJ off that much more.
Sure. Sure. I want to see the day after pictures of his back.
Oh Lord. Hamburger meat.
Yeah, hamburger meat. But, and then, I knew it was going to freaking happen, too, because he goes over there and he's like, all right, one more. You guys got one more. And then,
ref.
And then he takes it, and then they beat the shit out of him again, and he gets more licks, I'm like, God, man, this guy he is, something. Hey, I'll be honest, man, I bet some guys wouldn't do that angle, man. Don't you think, Primo?
I don't know many that would.
I know, right?
I mean, I don't know many wrestlers personally, but I don't. But personally, I don't feel that many would put themselves in that position.
Sure. And so that's what and it makes me like Wardlow even more, man. If you would do that, 1 for the business, 2,
man.
Try to get yourself over. 3, or 2 for the storyline. 3, in the long run, you're going to, help. It's going to help get yourself over as a babyface.
I got to say, over time, I have gotten to really like Wardlow. When I first saw him in Pinnacle, and even before that as MJF's lackey,
sure.
I just, I was like, okay, another big dude. And that's my opinion. When I see any big dude, I'm just like, okay, another big dude. But until you do something different, and he's showing a personality, and I like that, and he's really getting over. And I saw somewhere that he was inspired by Batista a lot, and he wants to in his match against MJF beat the power bomb record. He said he's gonna power bomb MJF as many times as it takes.
Man, I wonder what the number is.
I have no idea.
I'd love to know, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So great long-term storytelling, as this has been going on and on. we end up finding out on Rampage. I'll talk about this too. So it's talking about Wardlow. He's got to take on Shawn Spears in a cage, and then if he beats him, then he gets the MJF.
Right.
But, obviously he's going to.
I mean, the match is booked.
Yeah, the match is booked. Right. Yeah.
Right.
So they're basically doing now, like, if he makes it through, then if he makes it through the match, kind of deal. Like, if he can walk into the arena,
Dude, if that guy can stand there and take 10 lashes,
right,
I'm sure he can handle a steel cage.
Yeah. So there was the finish where the Bucks super kicked Sting, but they super kicked like his shoulders.
Yes.
I thought was pretty funny. I was like, just give him. So
they're like, we want to do it, but we don't want to
right,
give him everything we got.
Right. So is Sting gonna take a break now? Is that what it is? Because what did they do? A concerto to him or something? They busted up his ankle or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like maybe he'll take a little break.
Yeah, it's a good way to ride him off for a while.
Let Darby go solo for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on to Rampage. Speaking of Wardlow, we have a AEW debut, which was a guy that we couldn't remember his name for a long time, and I finally remembered. He was Killian Dane in WWE, but now he is called Big Damo, who is Nikki Ash's husband in Shoot Real Life. So this was his AEW debut, man, and honestly, I was never really a fan. What? Oh,
you just reminded me of the time we were talking about him and Rockstar Spud, and we could not remember his name.
Remember that? Yeah, we couldn't remember his name, man.
I remember that exact moment.
And I vowed not to Google it. I knew it'd come to me eventually, and then I seen him on TV, and I'm like,
2 years later,
Killian Dane. What was the faction that he was in with EY and all them?
With Nikki and
EY and
fuck.
Yeah, what was the name of that?
It was kind of like Violent by Design, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, it was like Chaos or I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
It was cool when it was in NXT, but it didn't work in the main roster.
So he puts over Wardlow, of course, and then we say we got Spears and Wardlow next week in a cage. Then we get a lot of little snippets of Jade Cargill, and then she comes out and she's doing this thing where she tells Tony to cut the shit, Tony, and at the end of her promos and that kind of stuff. So I'm where you at on Jade Cargill, man? Because I'm a fan. Sanity. There you go. Nice.
As far as Jade Cargill goes,
she's good.
I don't not like her. I'm like indifferent, really. Like I don't like. For me, she's. I just feel honestly, for me, she's a placeholder right now for she's somebody who's the first ever TBS Women's Champ, right?
Sure.
But which is a big deal. But I'm like, maybe it's because I don't know her enough.
Right. Yeah. I think she's a good heel so far. I can tell she's gotten comfortable. Since seeing her, how we used to talk about her being very stiff, the matches would be, not so smooth. I think they've gotten better, but I'm kind of liking the, she got a little entourage, so they're making.
And I also do like that she's also doing more of her own talking,
sure,
than having what's his face talk for her.
Smart Mark, whatever his name is, yeah. So. And then looks like we got, maybe some dissension going on, but, Ethan Page I've always been a big fan of Ethan Page, All Ego, I guess, is the real name, but he needs to be on the mic more, man. I mean,
he's perfect on the mic.
Yeah. Golly, man. He needs to get a singles run, but, they're showing a little bit of dissension between all of them and, that kind of stuff. And then we see Sammy and Tay Conti kissing again, and they smashed the TNT title. Did you see that? They smashed. Well, they got two of them, but they smashed one of them anyway.
They smashed one of them, yeah.
Yeah, and so that'll be a match on down the road. But yeah, so Primo, man, let's look at this AEW Double or Nothing. I'm sorry.
I want to say real quick for that steel cage match with Shawn Spears. Not only is he facing Sean Wardlow, facing Sean Spears, excuse me, in a steel cage. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. But MJF is the special ref.
Oh, I didn't see that step. I missed
Right.
that part. I went, well, yeah. It's going to be.
I mean, it's obviously he's still going to win. But
right. It's going
I
to be
say
it's Wardlow's
he,
one last meeting.
knocks them both out, and he grabs MJF's hand and makes him count or something. Yeah. But, no. All right. Moving on.
All right, let's go to the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, man. We got Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. I mean,
clearly.
Right,
yeah
it's got to be Hookhausen, right? All right, we just talked about it, man. MJF Wardlow. Of course, yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's got to beat him. He's got to get released from his contract, all that jazz.
Yep. So it's got to be I could see this being like co-main. You know what I mean? MJF, biggest heel.
This has one of the biggest stories right now.
Yeah. Huge payoff here. You know, and so it's looking good. All right, so House of Black, Malachi, Buddy Matthews, Brody King versus the Death Triangle of Pac, Penta,
Skuro.
And
I forgot what Michael called him.
And Ray Phoenix, yeah. So on Rampage 2, El Penta Oscuro, he came out with like a tombstone that said House of Black on it, and it had the Double or Nothing chip on the tombstone. So who wins that?
I see House of Black.
Yeah. Death Triangle still, kind of coming back together.
I don't think Death Triangle loses any credibility by losing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So they'll still look good is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, Jericho Appreciation Society, the big faction blow off here. This is like what, 5-on-5 or 6-on-6?
Yeah, it's JAS versus Kingston and the Posse. Kingston and the Blackpool Combat Club.
Right, the BCC.
The BCC, yeah.
Bryan Danielson, Moxley, Ortiz, Kingston. Oh, so this is an Anarchy in the Arena match. So does that mean you can rebel against the government while we're
yeah we just stand there with signs and shit
does this mean you can politic during the you can okay.
But no, I take obviously Kingston and them over well, I mean, if they want the feud to keep going, but I think since they inserted Combat Club, that it's going to go to those guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go the other way, man. I think Jericho. I think they need a big win to kind of solidify their faction because they're kind of one faction, right?
Right, they're a unit.
Yeah, Eddie, Santana, Ortiz, they're kind of a thing.
They're a thing,
and then Blackpool separate too. And so
here's my question: where's Yuta?
Where's Yuta? He get hurt?
I don't know. He just wasn't. He's just not there.
Yuta. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm saying they need a big win. Eddie and Moxley might get in each other's face, and that might be a new feud or something. You know what I mean? So
they're homies.
Sure.
That's why they came to bat for him in the first place.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but we could. I'm thinking maybe a little, something budding out of this.
Tension. I can see Bryan Danielson in Kingston.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that too. The Hardys versus the Bucks. Oh, it's a tough one.
I love it, and that's my jam.
Yep.
But
now we're just getting this thing started. Who knows how long it's going to go? Who's going to win the first match? You know what I mean? The Hardys can lose from here to the rest of their career, and it would never hurt them. Never. Those fuckers.
They're legends.
Right, they're legends.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm saying the Bucks.
I also am saying the Bucks. When's the last time the Bucks even had a match?
Sure. Yeah, the Bucks here, full on heel, do some dirty stuff. So, all right, Primo, talk to us about the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament final. We got Chris Statlander and the girls.
Yeah, actually, tonight, being Wednesday, May 25th, they're going to have the semifinal between Toni Storm and Britt Baker. So whoever wins that will go to the final, and then they will face the winner of Friday's matchup on Rampage between Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander. If I was a betting man, I gotta say it'll end up being Ruby versus Britt.
Yeah.
With I don't know.
Who do you think? Yeah, who do you think wins the whole thing?
Final thing, you might give it to Ruby, because
Ruby's going to be my pick just because she kind of needs a big win.
Yeah, because when she first came in on that one tournament or battle royale, and she didn't win that, obviously. So
yeah,
I feel like when you come in. Now, this is just me as a businessman.
Sure.
If I come into your company as a commodity, I'm going to put in my contract that at some point I get something.
Gotcha.
So maybe this is her get.
Okay. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So what about the men's side? Adam Cole, baby, is already in the. You know what I miss? I miss story time with Adam Cole, baby. We ain't done that in forever. Remember that?
2-1 story time with Adam Cole, baby.
Right.
So it's going to be whoever. Now that'd be something, but it's going to be the Adam Cole versus the winner of Samoa Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly.
Sure.
Now, wouldn't it be something if it was KOR versus Adam Cole?
It would.
Undisputed Elite versus each other.
Yeah, and they already kind of poked at it a little bit. Cole.
And Samoa Joe, if he wins tonight versus Kyle O'Reilly, he'll obviously go against Adam Cole, which is a very solid match. It's a match we've seen before, and a match that I'll watch every time.
Yeah, I think that's the way they're going.
Yeah, if Sanjay and Lethal don't sabotage it.
True. Yeah, it could be true.
If Samoa Joe gets to the final,
sure.
At that point, I do see Jay Lethal definitely sabotaging it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of feels like Adam Cole's going to win this just because he's, kind of already there. He don't have a belt kind of deal. So
he beat freaking Cash Wheeler with the sharpshooter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only reason, it makes me happy too that they're letting Kyle O'Reilly go this far. When it would have been cool to see Cash go farther. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm not a booker. So Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay. Jade's retaining, and this was kind of thrown together, I think, a little bit here because they didn't really have They really have a contender right now for. I know I got the rankings stuff
for the TBS.
Yeah, for the TBS.
Yeah, nah.
Women's title, TBS women's title, I guess they call it. Yeah, so Jade's retaining there. Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy versus the champs versus Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, who they proclaim they are now the number 5 ranked tag team, or a top 5, should I say? They said so.
So top 3 gets you in the top, or excuse me, top 5 gets you in the triple threat.
I guess it does. So
I say Jurassic Express retains because I don't see why they would give that up.
Yeah. Yep. Not yet. I'm going with that on 2. And then Thunder Rosa, the champ for the AEW Women's World Title versus Serena Deeb.
I also say Thunder Rosa retains.
Yeah, I think so too. Serena's very, very good in the ring. I just don't like her on the mic. And she talked the other night.
I mean, yeah. I take nothing away from her, but
sure.
Thunder Rosa just got the title.
Yeah, she just got the title. Yep. And then that leaves us with the main event, dude. They're probably going to wrestle for 45 minutes, dude.
Cowboy shit versus best in the world.
Yep, Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk. Is it time, Primo?
You know what? I'm just gonna say it, man. CM Punk.
I think that we're going to get a couple matches out of this before Punk gets it. I think at least 2. So I say some kind of double pin, or it just says. Yeah, I guess there's no time limit. I don't know. I just think they're going to fudge some rule or something, here. But I'm going to say Adam retains. But it's hard to not pick.
It is hard.
To not pick CM Punk to win. But,
yeah.
I don't know. Most of the time they don't win, But this is a big pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. Yeah. Man, you know what? I'm going to just stick to it. I'll stick to it. Adam Page. It's going to be awesome, though. I'm ready to watch it, though.
Yeah, I am ready to watch them finally lock up.
Mm-hmm.
They've been talking smack tonight on Dynamite. They're supposed to meet face-to-face in the ring, so we will see them clash.
Cowboy contract signing. She is neat.
She is neat.
All right, let's move on from AEW. Primo, let's tell us about some Impact.
I will tell you about some Impact. So,
a little Impact.
We've been having some qualifying matches for the Ultimate X at Slammiversary, and the latest to qualify, let's talk about this guy again. Excuse me. Speedball Mike Bailey joins Kenny King and Ace Austin for the Ultimate X at Slammiversary. After that, Ace Austin came over the, I don't know what they call it, Impact, Titantron, over the video feed.
Sure.
Says he's over in Japan, which I thought this was pretty cool, actually, for Ace Austin. He's over in Japan as the first ever X Division champion to compete in New Japan Pro Wrestling's Best of the Super Juniors, which is pretty neat. And he already won his first match.
Wow. Nice.
As part of Slammiversary build-up, Impact is playing Slammiversary Classic matches this week. And this week, they played Chris Sabin versus Frankie Kazarian. And it was a while ago because Frankie had long hair. It was pretty good.
Long hair don't care.
It was one of those classic TNA matches, old school TNA matches. Kazarian had the long hair, like I said. Kazarian's actually the one who won this match. But it was cool to see one of those. I like watching old TNA stuff because it's like nostalgia.
Right.
Back in the day, you were like, oh, man, everybody was shitting on TNA. But, now looking back, you're like, oh, man, I kind of missed that.
Right. Let me tell you something funny, too. And I've heard other people say this, or I've seen tweets about it. So I have DirecTV. That's my TV provider, right? Okay, so I record Impact and watch it later. Well, every day, like on Thursdays, so the new one comes on at like 7 o'clock Central Time, whenever I'm at. And sometimes, and so every week at like 2 o'clock that same day, there's always like they always show an old pay-per-view, like a Bound for Glory or Slammiversary, and like I always get hooked into watching it, and it always records it every time, and I only have it set to record new
impacts.
New impacts, yeah. But I love it at the same time. You know what I mean? I've seen other people post that too. So it's kind of funny.
It's like it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
So Eric Young gives a pretty cool promo. He has a promo / they play some B-roll of it's a walkthrough of his career. So how he came into the business with he name drops Bobby Roode.
Oh yeah.
And then he talks about how when he was part of Team Canada, and then went on to Eric Young is afraid of getting fired, to whenever he had the beard and the scraggly hair and he became the champion.
Yep.
And he even talks about how he worked for some old man who didn't know what to do with him. But anyway, he walks through his whole career up to where he's at now, and it was pretty cool just to watch because I've been following Eric Young since probably the Team Canada days.
Sure. Yeah, he's been around a long time, man.
The Good Brothers defeated OGK, and the war between Honor No More and Bullet Club definitely wages on as they brawled after the match.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And the last thing that happened on Impact, Briscoe Brothers defeated Violent by Design to retain their tag titles. After the match, though, Eric Young and Josh Alexander did come face to face. They originally did a stare down until freaking Violent by Design beat up on Josh Alexander. Then it became a big old brawl where at the end of the show, Briscoe Brothers and Alexander stood tall.
Yeah, I love Briscoes as tag champs, man. I hope they stay on them for a while. Yeah, I thought that was good stuff too. The other thing I wanted to mention was Masha Slamovich. She hasn't been on there in a little while, so now she's back.
Yeah.
Now she's back. And she had a squash match, and then Jessica Havoc comes out to.
She was there
to challenge her, or they kind of look at each other and give crazy demon eyes to each other. So next week they're going to wrestle. So Masha's picking it up now. We're so out of the squash we go into the garden, I guess. Squash garden.
Squash garden. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep. So yeah, that was cool. So good stuff.
All right, moving on to some NWA Power, brother. So Aaron Stevens actually announced via Instagram that he will have his final match at NWA Always Ready against Trevor Murdoch. Which
he's retired before, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I guess.
Old Miz down.
I'm not one to tell people what to do with their career. So it's
sure.
If he has some other venture he wants to go do, or if he wants to just chill, whatever.
Right.
Cool. So Scion, who a few weeks ago was the one who almost slammed Tyrus 3 times, but he slammed him twice, and then Tyrus attacked him. And then Austin Idol told him that he was his father. Scion is now made it clear that he's going after the NWA National Championship, but now he's also acting kind of crazy every time like somebody tries to ask him about Austin Idol being his daddy. He's like, don't fucking talk about that, basically. Yeah, his daddy issues.
That's funny.
So at the beginning of the show, Mike Knox was originally supposed to face Harry Smith, but supposedly he wasn't medically cleared to compete, and because of that, Knox cut a promo saying Harry Smith was faking it, but he didn't want to face him, so instead he called out Trevor Murdoch. They ended up facing off in the main event, and they had a freaking knockdown, drag-out fight, but Mike Knox ended up giving the victory to Trevor Murdoch because he got himself DQ'd whenever he pushed the ref. So a future bout's probably going to happen between these two, like a rematch.
So it's like the rebirth of Trevor Murdoch, man. He was he was around a long time ago, and I mean, you remember him from WWE 2000s, and I was kind of shocked, but really happy to see when he won the NWA title that time. So yeah,
it's because honestly, he just looks like a corn-fed old boy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Definitely not a body guy.
And you just don't see that, like, you don't see those kind of guys getting into the limelight these days because they look for the body guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of NWA's mojo, right? Like, the throwback with the seat, with the set and all that stuff. And yeah, he's kind of one of those throwback kind of guys, like I'm going to say a few names here you probably wouldn't know, but he's like throwback to like Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. He's Dirty Dick Slater. He's those kind of guys like that didn't really have a gimmick other than being just fucking ass kickers.
What about old Joey Baggadonuts?
Joey Baggadonuts, yeah. Guys like them used to whoop guys in backyards. Like, yeah. Those guys were over, just being
over.
Yeah. So, nice.
That's all I got. NWA and Impact.
Sounds good, man. Let's move on to WWE. Let me start you off with some SmackDown.
Smacking it down.
Live at Smacking It Down from Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Van Andel Arena. I'm very familiar with this place. Seen a couple concerts there. Very good venue. I highly recommend. And if you like beer, Grand Rapids, Michigan's the place for you.
Nice.
Tons of breweries. So Roman tells everyone that he expects the Usos to win, unify the tag titles. He comes out. Grand Rapids acknowledges him, as they should, as they do. I always like when he says acknowledge me, he always kind of gives the nod of whether it's a good acknowledgement or not. You know what I mean?
He's like, okay.
Yeah, like when it's really good, he's like, oh, all right, yeah, not bad. He kind of get a little bit of a smile, and then if it's not, if it's like a little bit more booze, he's kind of like, got the, I can't
right,
little
stink face.
Yeah, so good stuff there. Which is looking forward, as to what's going to happen later on. So Nakamura beat Sami Zayn in a match. Sami had the Bloodline shirt on, which was hilarious. We're seeing the things all over Twitter today that he's like
so
the
funny.
third cousin of the Usos. He's a late distant relative
to the
Anoa'i family. Anoa'i family. Yes.
French Canadian.
La resistance.
La resistance.
So this storyline's getting good and funny. Happy Corbin, man, this dude took 30-minute segment up of SmackDown just talking about him and Madcap, and just I wouldn't even mention it, but it took so daggone long, man. He just kept on talking.
He just ate up the show. He
did. All right, Primo, let's talk about it, dude. So our boy L.A.
Knight, brother,
who used to be Eli Drake is now
he is
Max Dupree.
I like how it was Adam Pearce was like, so you're Max Dupree. He's like, no. Max Dupree.
So it's just like when they used to say, no. It's fun. Go. Right? Yeah, it's like one of those things, man. So yeah. He's a male model manager of an agency.
Talent acquisition agent. Yeah. So he has a portfolio of male models.
Fucking wrestling, man.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so and we'll see, man. We'll see.
I think the thing that cracks me up the most about this is that we have to pretend that we don't watch NXT.
Man, I was like, oh, LA Knight. And then I'm like, oh, new gimmick. Oh, please be good. I don't know.
I don't know about
this. And then he goes, Dupree. And I'm like,
Dupree.
Oh, no. All right. So, anyway, let's move to the main event, brother. So, we knew it was inevitable. Things come out, about Randy's health. But the Usos did beat RK Bro to unify the tag titles after Roman and Paul interfered. Post-match, they destroyed Riddle, choked out Randy, that kind of stuff. So Bloodline has all the tag titles now.
All the gold.
Roman's got all the title. I see a Riddle-Roman feud going forward here, I think. Might be the next little, challenger for Roman to put in the ground, as everybody else. But, pertaining to the knee from when they were talking the other day, Riddle popped that knee on him.
Show him some respect, yeah.
That's right, yeah. So we knew that was coming. So moving on to Raw, which was in Evansville, Indiana. We get Riddle in the ring, who is talking about Randy having a bad back. He don't know if Randy, he's my best friend, so Riddle was playing a little bit of the emotional card here. Said he don't know if RK Bro will ever be a thing again, pulling on the heartstrings.
Right.
So Randy, please come back.
They gave us an out with RK Bro.
Right.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
Without making them actually break up.
Sure. Yeah, and when they come in play something like that. It's like, it's like, hey, look, we had to put the titles on the Usos for business, but we'll run this back later again sometime. But we got to do this thing first. It's got to play itself out with the bloodline. So yeah, so now I immediately start thinking, who's going to win the IC belt? What girl are they going to get to win the women's title? Like, I'm thinking they're going to take them all, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Is this when Tamina will finally get the women's title? Where I think of Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa.
I think of him maybe winning the IC belt.
Solo Sikoa.
There you go. That would be a good one. So
if he came in to win the IC belt, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I just feel like as long as Roman has the titles, the Usos will too. So we'll see. All right. So next, we had a Judgment Day promo, but the only thing I'm going to talk about it is Edge mentioned John Cena. Did you get that?
Yeah, he did mention John Cena a little bit, which we just talked about how he's so he might be coming.
Might be a good SummerSlam match, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Edge Cena.
That's one of my favorite rivalries.
Yeah.
I like, you go back to 05, 06 time frame, John Cena Edge was it.
Right. Yeah.
John Cena threw Edge in the Long Island Sound.
Right. He sure did, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's going to get brought up. So, yeah. Right. And that was really the only person he mentioned, John Cena, because he said, like, I'm not corporate run by the, do what you're told, like John Cena, so I was like, oh, a little
name drop.
there. Look
at
you.
Yeah.
So, the King Jerry Lawler next interviews Veer. All right.
On the King's Court.
Yeah, on the King's Court. We knew what was going to happen, something along the sorts. Veer didn't destroy the King, but he did destroy the Mysterios, who came back, and they kind of destroyed him a little more, I guess you say. But he retreated, is what I should say, a little more this time. He decided on not to mix it up with them, but, I don't know. They had Veer and the Mysterios in a segment. It was hard for me to watch it, but I did. So, there's that. So, but your girl Alexa Bliss won again. You like her new music and stuff here? You like the new
gimmick? She actually, I read somewhere she actually took part in the lyrics of her new music or something.
She was singing it this time, I noticed.
Yeah,
she was singing it. She won. She beat Nikki Ash. All right, so Cody and Miz. Cody versus the Miz. Seth pretty much ruined it. He attacks Cody, whips him with his belt that he always gives to a kid, right? He always takes the belt off, gives to a kid. Cody does.
Yes.
And, so Seth came back and took it from the kid and went over there and started whipping Cody with it. Obviously, Cody got it back and gave it back to the kid. Crowd goes wild, because Cody gave it back to the kid. But good storytelling stuff here. They're moving on, at Hell in a Cell. So this is good forward storyline stuff. I mean, Cody and Seth right now, arguably top 5 in the world right now. You know what I mean? So,
oh yes,
I mean,
no doubt. I think it. I think that it's one of the best things they got going right now in WWE, and I think I just love Seth Rollins' character right now.
Yeah. It's great, man. And it's nice to see, I love the story of Cody coming back and they're putting him right in a program with Seth. Like, that's just smart booking to me, man. You know what I mean? It's just working. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with that. So Kevin Owens challenged Ezekiel to a match at Hell in a Cell. He's like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Ezekiel. I don't care if you're, Elias. He goes, I don't care. I just know that I'm going to beat you at Hell in a Cell. That kind of stuff. So they're going to have a match.
Yeah, he's like, it doesn't matter what your name is or who you are.
Right, yeah. And last note I got for Raw is Becky beat Asuka. So it's going to be a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell with
the old thruple. Becky got herself back in there
with Bianca. Yeah, so good shiznits. I thought Raw was pretty decent. A lot of talking. I think in between SmackDown and Raw, but storytelling stuff was pretty good. So okay, NXT. Let me talk about, we got more El Legado Fantasma and Tony D'Angelo stuff going on. These guys have, they got the feud going on between those two. So we got the two factions kind of going against each other. So that's going to keep going. We also had Alba Fire. I can't remember how they said it, but she won again this time, but she beat Elektra Lopez. Kaylee Ray is who Alba Fire used to be. So she got the new gimmick now. She comes out with like a bat. It's got fire on the end of it, so it's pretty sweet. Crown Jewel is announced during NXT Saturday, November 5th. So that will be the next Crown Jewel pay-per-view, premium live event. Pardon me for that. So that's going to be, but they advertised that and did it during NXT. So that was slightly a little weird, but anyway, yeah, Crown Jewel announced Saturday, November 5th. So that's the next big Crown Jewel thing.
Yes, I saw that there's going to be Crown Jewel event the same day potentially as AEW.
Oh.
As an AEW pay-per-view.
Daytime wrestling and nighttime wrestling in one day? Heck yeah.
Right.
Give me that. That'd be dope. All right. So Primo, have you heard anything, man? Nikita Lyons reportedly out of the tournament, the breakout tournament they're having due to an injury, but some saying it's a call-up.
So, she revealed on her Instagram Live actually that it was an MCL tear and an MCL sprain, and she's wearing a pretty serious knee brace, and she didn't give a timetable on her return.
Okay, that's news to me. Yeah, I didn't know that one either. So okay. And then we get a vignette of Giovanni Vinci, who is coming soon to NXT. Not really sure who that was. Any inkling of anybody that might be? Maybe it's a homegrown person. Not sure, but that's what we got with that. So that's coming. And then to wrap it up, of course, Gacy is still playing mind games on Braun Breaker, who wrestled Duke Hudson in the main event, and Gacy and the Druids. I don't know what else to call them. The people.
Yeah, because they don't he just said that they joined him, but he's not unveiling him.
Right. Yeah. So they interfered with to mess with Braun's match. So yeah. So that's how WWE all finished up for the week. Not a whole lot going on, but decent shows. But kind of forward progressing.
Yeah. A lot of filler
shows. Yep. So. All right, let's talk about our final our final famous women's match here, Primo. Let's kick off the Dropkick discussion.
Hey guys, this is Mr. Havens, the Argyle assassin himself, giving them all the shivers.
This is the one and only Mike Hartenbauer.
This is Space Jesus Billy Starks.
This is referee Dan Perch.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw. You can address me as yours rudely. And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast.
You guys are listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
You're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
Come celebrate pro wrestling right here on the Sit Down Marks podcast.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With DB, Primo, and AJ.
With Primo, DB, and AJ.
And you're listening to DB, Primo, AJ here on the Sit Down Marks podcast, the best podcast for professional wrestling.
Man, I tell you that Mr. Havens, that boy can talk, can he?
I do appreciate it.
He can rock the mic, man. Yeah, that's
for
awesome,
sure.
Man. Good stuff, man. Love that. So the Dropkick discussion. This is our final May for the month of May famous women's match. This is Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha from WrestleMania 32. we've watched this. We're going to talk about it here, and we're going to rate it on the Smelly Mark scale as we always do. But I want to remind you that next month we are beginning our famous NWA WCW Starrcade matches, and we're going way back to 1983 next week for Roddy Piper versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. So go check this match out. This was a famous match from Starrcade back in the old days, and excited to cover those. But first, man, let's talk about this women's match, man. So April 3rd, 2016. This was my birthday present to myself. This is 2 days after my birthday. Yep, I went to WrestleMania 32. This is the only Mania that I've ever been to. Not name dropping, but it was a big time for my wife too, because she's friends with Charlotte Flair, and so at the time, she had seen her gone through NXT and go through, she was the Divas champion coming into this particular night, because this was the night where they would flip it over to the women's title after that, which what we know now as the Raw women's title. So the old white with red. But it was a big night too for my wife, to see Charlotte on the big stage like this, and to so it was a huge night, man. A lot of cool things happening. So this was, like I said, April 3rd, 2016. Now, now our seats were terrible. Okay. I just wanted to be in the house.
It's WrestleMania, dude.
Yeah. They were awful. I was, so the ring looked very small. I watched the big screen a lot, because
but can you say you were there? Because I can't.
Right. Yeah. So this was the night that the Divas title was retired. Winner of this match would be the WWE Women's Champion. So this was kind of a monumental night. They were officially retiring the Divas title to not ever come back anymore. It was the Women's Revolution. They were changing over to, the women's.
They were stop calling them Divas. Start calling them women superstars.
That's right. Yeah, so it was really cool to see this match. It's always cool to kind of go back and watch it too that night, because always a lot going on. I'm looking at the ring and I'm looking up at that screen, just trying to see everything's going on. But so Becky comes in with her classic entrance that she used to have, and then after that we get a Sasha comes out with Snoop Dogg, the famous entrance, Sasha's Snooper cousins. And, of course, Ric Flair accompanies Charlotte to the ring. This was back when he was kind of still hanging out with her some, outside the ring. So these three girls, Primo, had dominated the division, of course. And this was another huge match in what we were just talking about, the culmination of this big women's revolution that was going on. Kind of fun fact coming into this, they said Charlotte she was the Divas champion 196 days coming into today. So that was the final reign tally number on the Divas title.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool little tidbit there. Your girl Lita was in the ring with the
she was there
with the title.
For the presentation, yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool to show off the new belt. Then we're reminded before we get started here, we're reminded by the announcers that it's triple threat rules. Anybody can pin anybody for the title, to win the title. So they didn't just have to, pin Charlotte. They could pin anybody, could take the pin for the belt. So, Primo, before I start this match, man, you got anything up until the start here?
I do. So, I will say, they played a pretty cool little video beforehand of all the women's champs of the past that led up to this point, between the women's champs of old, between the Attitude Era champs up to the Divas champs up until this point in wrestling. It's a pretty cool video, and then along with that same video, they showed the three competitors' rise in WWE, which was obviously Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte. This is before Becky became the man, but she still got a good ovation.
She was like steampunk Becky.
Yeah, I was gonna say I used to really, really like the steampunk Becky Lynch. But I gotta say that 2022 Big Time Bex is on a whole nother level.
Yep.
So, however, I forgot Snoop Dogg. So they mentioned this and whenever he came out, but I forgot Snoop Dogg is a WWE Hall of Famer. And not only that, but it had to be a really amazing feeling for Sasha, who is his cousin.
Sure.
Have him come out and hit this rap icon, Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do her entrance for her. And also on top of that, I liked her Eddie Guerrero tribute gear. That was really cool. The boots and the tights.
Yes, it was.
And on Charlotte's note there was a cool touch with the robe. She had on the robe. It was the final robe that Nate wore when he had his retirement match against Shawn Michaels. And she was also...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Charlotte was also the only one to get pyro.
Yes, she was. And it went all the way around the stadium, too.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should have seen it coming then, didn't we?
Right.
Well, all right, so, as throuple matches do, they all start, they all go at each other. But it was a very well worked open sequence where you could see that they all attempted pins on each other. Lots of cool planned spots here, to kind of, make the crowd go, ah, and ooh, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was very brilliant to start. They did let each one of them kind of get their shine too, in this open here. They didn't just jump on one person. Everybody, they kind of all three got their licks in on each other and kind of, all got in their stuff. But and then as the match starts to break down, Charlotte starts to work on Becky for a while when Sasha's laid out outside the ring by Charlotte. Becky finds a small opening and gets Charlotte in the disarmer, which she attempted a lot, but Rick gets on the apron to distract the referee, but Charlotte doesn't tap, and they are making sure they tell us, the referees are telling us, I'm sorry, not the referees, the announcers are telling us that she doesn't tap. So yeah, but a cool spot. Charlotte goes for a figure 8 on Becky, but Charlotte comes in with a frog splash Eddie style for a near pin there. So that was pretty cool. And then with the crowd behind Sasha, Becky suplexes Sasha on her neck, which I thought was pretty nasty for a second, but for another near pinfall for Becky. But with Charlotte outside the ring, Sasha does a dive through the ropes to the outside on Charlotte. And then Becky dives on Ric Flair. So we got like some outside spots going on.
Yep.
So they're really getting in everything here. And, I thought they really did a really good job of this and, keeping everybody interested because, sometimes, if a triple threat, thruple match, whatever you call it, comes off, you know what I mean? It's like, what does the third guy or girl do? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
it's almost like a third wheel type.
Yeah. You got to have some nice spots where people are laid out. And
where you just kind of standing there holding your hands.
Yeah. So, Becky is back up. She tries to disarm her once again. This is about third or fourth time on Charlotte. It gets caught in the bank statement, which Charlotte grabs the figure 8 on Sasha, and then she reverses that. And then next thing you know, they're all just punching each other while they're all locked up. And basically they're just trying everything on each other at this point, and they kind of looks like they kind of went through the planned spots of what they went through. And now they're, kind of going through some other things. So, and then we get to the finish. Excuse me. And then we get to the finish, which was a bank statement on Becky from Sasha, and then Charlotte throws Sasha out of the ring and puts the figure 8 on Becky, and that's how she wins. Becky taps out as Ric Flair grabs Sasha and keeps Sasha from getting back in the ring and breaking up the pin. So that's how Rick did end up getting involved. And they didn't really catch that on camera, but the announcers, kind of went back and showed the replay.
Like you could kind of see it, but
right.
you had to know what was going on.
Right, yeah. All right, Primo, so give me your notes on this match.
Yeah, so after the entrances, I put That frog splash you mentioned, that Eddie Guerrero style frog splash, breaking up the figure eight was a really cool spot. The pump handle that was the Michael Cole called it the pump handle almost rock bottom. My question was that the first appearance of the manhandle slam or whatever she calls it nowadays?
Yeah, the pump hand.
Where she calls it the man slam, the one she beat Bianca Belair with.
Oh yeah. I guess it probably was. Yeah.
And then Charlotte with the moonsault to the outside, and when she hit that moonsault, Becky ate every bit of that.
Yes, she did. Yep.
I put this crowd is excited. You could almost hear Dirty Bird up there.
Yep, it was.
I love when I have always loved, in fact, not just in this match, but I've always loved when Sasha goes for the backstabber or from the backstabber directly into the bank statement.
Right.
She does this like combo thing with it.
Sure. Yep. Like rolls into it.
Yeah. And then Becky pulling Sasha away from the figure eight was a high IQ move. So Charlotte had Sasha in the figure eight and Becky was on the outside. And before Sasha could tap, Becky pulls her to the outside, which was smart.
Yep.
And then finally the finish there, Ric Flair held Sasha back as Becky taps out to the figure eight. And WWE Women's Champion. So she was the last Divas Champion, the first WWE Women's Champion.
Yep, she was. I actually missed my note about the moonsault. Man, that thing was just beautiful. It was cool to me because at the time I knew that she was working on one through my wife. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it was cool to see the culmination of her do that on that big stage, man. So that was cool. And and that I was gonna say that was the and right after that was when the This Is Awesome chants came out. So that was
I've asked you this before in other pay-per-views that you've attended.
Sure.
But like when you watch this match over this past week, like does it take you back there, like the memory of it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? I knew my seat was gonna be very high, up in the stadium, but I wanted it to be dead center. You know what I'm saying? I just always remember where I was. I'll talk about that for a second. Like I talked about my wife, it was cool. I remember like us hanging on the edge of our seats because we were wanting Charlotte to win so bad.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. And then when watching for the finish, like I just didn't want to look away. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to miss the finish. You know what I mean? So I was just probably the one match I was really super locked in on, and it was just really cool. And just I remember when Sasha won, just you know what I mean. It was just like elation, proudness, like the whole journey feels. My wife
Charlotte got that belt.
Yeah. When Charlotte got the belt, being the first women's champion, it was cool because my wife and Charlotte they were working out together when she decided to go to that, right before she left to go to NXT, and just to see all that come together is really cool. My first WrestleMania, just. I'm just
that's
mind
a
blown.
hell of a WrestleMania. Rock and Cena?
Yeah. No, that one was Roman and Triple H.
Was it?
Yeah, Rock was there when he did the fire. He did the.
That's what he did there.
Fireball gun.
Oh, this one had Brock and Dean Ambrose.
Brock and Dean Ambrose.
And Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder won the IC title. Yep. Yeah, this is good stuff, man. It was super cool, a night of, So when I go back and watch it, man, it's like nostalgia. I've probably only watched it a handful of times. So,
Was this the one where Hulk Hogan came out at the beginning and, no.
That's the.
Where he missed.
Where
he says the Super. Yeah. That was in New Orleans. Yeah.
That was in New Orleans. He called him the Silver Dome.
Yeah, Silver Dome, yeah.
Yeah, in the Superdome, brother. Yeah, so. So there's a lot of cool spots here. So, all right, Primo, what do you think, brother? We talked about this one, watched it. It's,
on the smelly mark scale, there's a lot of factors that go into this. So, I just just mentioned in my clip of the week, talking about the weakest link, how Terry Reynolds said that most of what she does is run around with little to nothing on, and probably bra and panties matches or fucking mud pit matches, whatever they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's how women were viewed back then, or in the early 2000s, 90s, and further on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yep.
This was a cool moment in women's wrestling history because you're tossing that divas thing away, right?
Sure.
Which was whatever, but you're kind of giving them the equality of the women's superstar as the same as the men.
Yeah, because they're legit badasses too.
Right. And these three, Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha, obviously showed that they can put on a banger of a match. And I got to give it, for me personally, I got to give it an 8 out of 10. Smelly marks.
Yeah. It was really well laid out in the beginning. You know, I'm super excited, happy with how it came out. You know what I mean? So, and just for being there, you know what I'm saying? Like I would give this an 8, but just because I saw it live, I'm going 8.5. I'm going 8.5 just because I was there, because it kind of had everything, man. Had star power. You know what I mean? They did high spots. You know, they did technical moves. You know what I mean? They brawled. We had outsides, like you know what I mean? Like they gave us everything. And like I said, triple threats, man, are hard. You know what I mean? So a lot of planned stuff you really got to nail down.
Yeah. Like this Charlotte was Charlotte, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she wasn't the Charlotte we have today yet.
Sure.
And Becky wasn't the man yet. And Sasha hadn't found her like attitude yet.
Right.
So, but they had all already had this revolution in motion.
Right.
Obviously, for this to happen.
Yeah. And if you're a wrestling fan, we'd watch all these girls in NXT for a while too before.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You go back to our last 2 weeks, we covered them in NXT.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, to see where they were then, and this is 6 years ago, to where they are now, all three of these women are at the top of the game.
Yeah. Yep, they are, man. And so in this whole month, man, we watched a lot of matches, women's matches that have a lot to do with changing the narrative of, you know, what we know as women's wrestling, you know what I mean? So, you know, we took a whole month to watch those kind of matches. You know, Lita and Trish headlining Raw for the first time ever, you know what I mean? Charlotte, you know, and Natty putting on a clinic of a match, you know, and then, you know, the
Bailey and Sasha,
possibly the greatest women's ladder match ever. Bailey and Sasha, you know what I mean? Like those are like monumental matches. And then the one we watched is all three of these girls just.
And of course, they would go on to, in a couple of years, with Ronda, Charlotte and Becky would go on to main event WrestleMania.
Yeah. So huge match there. You know, another big one in the women's revolution. So that's going to do it, man, for the month of May and for the the famous women's matches. We'll definitely be coming back to some of those later for sure. But next month we're moving on to NWA, WCW famous Starrcade matches. You know, some of those historical ones. And like I said, we're going back to 1983 to get us started off next week with Roddy Piper versus Greg Valentine. So I'm excited to go back and check this one out from back in 83. I was, 25, 26 years old, somewhere around in there. So
I was negative. I was -6.
I was 8, people. Okay, I was 8. 25. All right, Primo. Let's get to these picks, man. All right, so MMA picks going into this week. AJ in the main event was 47-42, and you helping out the gamblers was 11-9. Now you guys took Holly Holm to win in the main event last week. Let's see if you guys stayed on track, or is there going to be a setback here? Let's see.
Well, Fuck, man. I'm almost to 500, like, in a bad way.
Yeah, she lost by split decision. So AJ's not here. We're just going to give everybody a week off. We'll regroup.
I had a lot of stock invested in you, Holly.
So AJ drops to 47 and 43. You to 11 and 10.
It's a good thing I'm not putting real money on this.
It is. All right, time for promo school there, Primo. Rip it.
Hello, guys. This is RPD, former professional boxer, now professional wrestler. And you're listening to Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Old guy, RPD.
I love RPD, man. He's awesome.
Man, he is getting so hot over there in the UK scene. That dude is all over the promotions. Man, I can't. We're gonna have to go over there to see him, or he's gonna have to get over here.
I know
later,
he's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
He's a friend of the show.
Absolutely, he's been on the pod. We've had him. He's one of the ones that's been on twice, hasn't he? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, good deal, man. Love to see RPD being very successful out there in the UK wrestling scene. All right, so promo school today, Primo. We got a 1992 babyface promo from Sting.
It's Sting.
Yeah, I cannot do it like Shivani does. So he just won the WCW NWA title, whatever you want to call it, for the second time, I believe, here. And he has a pretty much promo saying he's taking on all comers. So quick little fun one here from the old Stinger. Check it out.
I'm glad I get this chance to talk to everybody right now. I got something I want to say. For so long now, you've seen me beat on my chest. You've seen me howling. You've seen me high-fiving people at ringside. You've seen me pat the little kid, the little Stinger with the spiked hair, just like this on top of the head. And you've heard me talk about goosebumps. You've seen me get excited. You've seen me literally run up into the stands right in the middle of a match. I got news for you. You combine all of that up into one big bundle, and that's exactly how I felt when this thing all of a sudden became mine. The Stingers. I've been here once before, and to have it again the second time blows away the first time. Lex Luger was a great opponent. And speaking of opponents, I know Paulie Dangerously and the rest of his alliance. Everybody wants a piece of it. Let's start at the top with the number one contender, and that's you, Mr. Swiveling Hips, Rick Rude. Anytime you want it, I'm here. Come and get it. Woo!
I always love hearing the Stinger go, woo! Yeah, it's always fun, man. So that was fun. Basically, like, yeah, I just won the title. I'll take on anybody, and I'm not scared. I like that. So, yeah, fun little promo school there from the old Stinger. All right, so AJ is not here, so I guess I am going to close the show.
This is Sabotage, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks podcast.
All right, so we'll remind everybody that we are live every Wednesday on the Sit Down Marks YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go to YouTube, search Sit Down Marks. Give us a follow, and we really appreciate it. So also want to let everybody know that all of our pods are available every Thursday, every week, wherever you get your podcasts. And we're also obviously on SportsWire Radio every Friday at 6:15 and throughout the week. So don't forget to give us a 5-star review. And if you love the pod, tell your friends about us. We really do appreciate it. And check out those that merch that we got at www.tpublic.com/stores/sit-down-marks. Check it out. They'll probably be running a sale here shortly. And we got a brand new logo we're going to be dropping here soon. So can't wait to get that one on a t-shirt. Primo, give us that preview of next week, sir.
Well, Primo is going to give you that preview, as it were, for next week, baby, if you will.
Baby clothes.
We begin our month of June. Famous Starrcade matches with Roddy Piper versus Greg the Hammer Valentine.
The Hammer with the glamour.
With the glamour. From Starrcade 83.
Swiss wheelchair.
As mentioned before, I was -6 years old this time. So AJ will return. So we will play some music class as promised. We'll see if Dirty Bird will continue his music class streak.
Of course.
Also, we'll talk about the AEW pay-per-view Double or Nothing results, and then start to get ready for WWE Hell in a Cell in Chicago coming up here shortly. It's Big Pod next week. Thank you all so much for downloading and subscribing. We will see you right here next week.
All right, couple notes. If you're in the Normal, Illinois area, Friday, June the 3rd, we're going to be at the Corn Crib with Iron Spirit Pro. We're doing a couple matches after a minor league baseball game Friday night, so looking forward to that. July 16th is the next Iron Spirit Pro show at the Station Saloon. We'll be announcing that one later. Go check out ironspiritpro.com and also Iron Spirit Pro on Twitter. Also, I want to let everybody know I will be at CCW this Saturday, Cape Championship Wrestling in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Going to be a big show down there. If you're in the area, man, come by, get some free stickers and merch from me. I'll be hanging out, watching some wrestling, man, and looking forward to heading down there for the weekend. Primo, so another pod in the books here, man.
Yeah, I do have one note before we shut down.
Sure.
I want to say a show, or a tournament, rather, that we sponsored last year. Your boys, the Sit Down Marks, sponsored last year. That is the SCI Scenic City Invitational. Is coming up again this August, and they just announced their 16th and final entrant into the tournament. And it is none other than Masha Slamovich.
No.
Yeah.
Whoa. Dope.
Yeah. How cool.
Give me Daniel Makabe versus Masha Slamovich.
Right. AJ will have a heart attack.
Yes, he would. Mind blown when AJ hears of that one, man. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'm still I'm not out on that. I might not be going on vacation, so I'm gonna wait. I might end up going to Chattanooga. So, but yeah, looking forward to that one. A lot of shows coming up, man. Summer, everything's picking up, and Primo, man, good doing the pod with you today, sir. AJ will be back next week. We'll be back in full force. So we didn't even really do any AJ impressions, did we?
We didn't, but I'll do one for you.
Yeah, go. Do it.
Grab them cakes.
All right, so I took the thong back. Man, I couldn't hang that shit up in the crack of my ass, dude.
Butt floss.
Yes, it's butt floss. I couldn't deal with that. So I'm going back and getting the thump underwear. End of story.
Do it.